How can you tell if you are utilizing calcium? Several ways. Spider veins, varicose veins, hemorrhoids, petechia, bruising easy, depression, wrinkles, prolapsing, sagging of the skin, of the breast, sagging of the uterus or bladder, weak sphincters, mitral valve prolapses, heart murmurs, in other words, heart arrhythmias, easy to fracture bones, all these things like that, like scoliosis and factors like that. All these are symptoms of a lack of calcium utilization, but also the withdrawal or the pulling of calcium out of the respective skeletal or connective tissue. And that is primary acidosis. That's your body fighting, remember, acids, cholesterol and calcium, body's main antacids. So you're going to see aspects of your structure, but also reaches into your depression. If you're a woman having babies, postpartum depression, an excellent example of a parathyroid weakness. One big issue that people have to understand here is the parathyroid glands. The parathyroid gland is directly related to calcium utilization of the body. So when that gland is weak, depression sets in, because when you don't utilize calcium, you get depressed. And women that are having babies suck calcium right out of you moms, and it'll make you have postpartum depression. Now, why do you lose calcium in the body? Well, babies are the big source, but acids. Calcium is a big acid of the body. It'll suck you calcium right out of you until you get osteoporosis, scoliosis. I mean, it's endless to what you can experience, and depression is a major part of not utilizing calcium. Growing pains, things like this. You know, so the parathyroid is very important. Your fingernails, how strong your skin is, how strong your bones are. You know, a hypo or a hyperparathyroid case, like you have a hyperthyroidism, they never break bones. They're so strong because their utilization of calcium is at an all-time high. You've got to make sure that you're utilizing calcium. You cannot take calcium. That's a wrong way to address this. This isn't about deficiencies. That concept is way down on the bottom of the mountain. You have to take another step here, and that step is, how does the body utilize nutrition? How does the body utilize calcium? You've got to take that one other step. And the utilization of a calcium is a parathyroid hormone. And that's important here in a nurse that asked me, she's a mental health nurse, and she asked me about mental health issues. When you don't utilize calcium, depression falls into this game here. And this, of course, the whole chakra or the thyroid area is your id, how you see yourself, how you feel about yourself, how much you like yourself or don't like yourself. But it also is calcium utilization. The thyroid does a lot more than just keep your body warm. And so the parathyroid, very important. And you mamas out there with this parathyroid weakness, the babies just suck calcium out of you guys, and that's where you get into the postpartum depressions. Remember the parathyroid. We've been talking a lot about the parathyroid because that's how you utilize calcium. I would definitely start hitting on that. Use a glandular, if you will, and really hit that, because when you're in a stat need like this, you got to move lymph and get your body utilizing calcium again, because you can re-strengthen connective tissue. So this is real important that you get your lymph moving, and view these videos on how to move lymph and the protocols we recommend. It's hard. We've been brainwashed about dairy products is where we get our calcium. But when you see the commercial for orange juice and they say, well, 1 glass of orange juice will give you more calcium than 4 glasses of milk. Now, how could they say something like that? Fruits are not overly high in calcium. They say something like that because they know that when you pasteurize milk, you bond the chemistry. And then it's literally a nightmare, if not impossible, for your body to even use the calcium at all. When you start bonding, coagulating chemistry to the point where it's hard, you bond this in ultra pasteurization, you're getting that milk almost up to plastic. So that's healthy for you? But ultra-pasteurization takes dairy products close to plastic. So when you drink a glass of milk, you're drinking a glass of plastic. And notice the last study said that the more milk you drink, the more prone to fractures, because you bonded this chemistry so acidically that it leaches calcium. Whenever you eat acid-forming foods, plan to lose calcium, because you're now in a phosphorus nitrogen-rich food, which is antagonistic to your electrolytes and your calciums. And that's not fruits, berries, and melons and vegetables. They're more electrolyte rich and low on the nitrogen and phosphoruses. That's more suited to our blood. When you dump this whoppy-jawed chemistry of high acids into the blood, you're lucky you don't die from it. Because in 3 minutes you can. But the body can steal. The body can steal. And thank God there is some other nutrients in people's meals. Some people don't get any greens in their meals. Don't take calcium, guys. Don't take calcium. Take kelp or the God's blend. It's super high in calcium. Take a plant calcium. Don't take calcium of isolates, all right? When taking a parathyroid gland, how many milligrams of calcium would you recommend? No. No, because you don't want to take calcium in and of itself, by itself. You want the whole family with it. You want the twin sister magnesium, the little brother phosphorus. You want the whole family. So if you want to take anything, supplement kelp then, or the superfood blend, which has kelp and other things in it. You want the superfoods that are high in calcium, not calcium isolate, because that'll just push your magnesium and phosphorus and start kicking out all your cousins. You can't play with these ratios and not affect everybody. Can't do it. Everybody's related in chemistry. So don't advise calcium supplementation at all. I had a nurse come in here one day. She was a nurse anesthetist. And her anesthesiologist boss told her that she had arthritis and told her she should take calcium for it. Well, she did. Well, she come walking in my office like she'd been on a horse for about 3 years and not got off. Her legs were so bow-legged it wasn't even funny. And I said, let me guess. Arthritis, and someone told you to take calcium for it? She said, well, how'd you know? I said, because I see that all the time. You get hardening of the joints, you get calcium. In other words, calcium became a free radical. One, because she had a parathyroid weakness, and two, because she supplemented isolate of it. Don't want to do that. You take calcium and you don't have proper parathormone or proper parathyroid hormone, you're going to give yourself arthritis. Seen it a lot of times. That's why I don't get into supplementation. It's not worth it. You're trying to skip proper digestion, proper absorption, proper utilization, and the only way to have those three is with proper elimination. You know, the very thing that people are pushing and medical doctors are pushing and some ridiculous naturopaths are pushing is what takes calcium right out of your body. Remember little brother phosphorus and nitrogen? You know, nitrogen is our great friend, but it also can be your enemy. Too much nitrogen, too much phosphorus. Both of those are acidifying the body. And then you guess what you're going to lose? Calcium. Proteins are a big leacher of calcium out of the body. Make sure your parathyroid is good. Remember, that's calcium utilization. Parathyroid, calcium utilization. You know, we don't understand the thyroid also produces calcitonin. Thyroid and parathyroid are used in the waxing and waning of the calcium of the body, so they are essential to be healthy for structure reasons. The thyroid controls your rate of metabolism. Now, the thyroid also produces calcitonin. So calcitonin and parathormone both are used in the utilization and the movement of calcium in the body. So there's a big deal to have a healthy thyroid and parathyroid. So if you're going to detox to fix this, then you got to really get in and detox. Could take you several months. If you want to use a glandular, which is what I would do just to enhance the function of, but you still have to clean the inflammation out of it. You know, the glandulars is not a detoxifying issue. Glandulars are enhancing issues. They enhance cell function by stimulating cell awareness. I've done a lot of calculations in order to learn for myself which foods have more calcium and phosphorus. Why worry about it, sweetheart? I mean, why go to all this trouble? Because you have to take care of three phases before you can make this statement that you're looking for foods that are higher calcium and things like this. That's time consuming and really a waste of time, actually. your focus should be on, do you digest, do you absorb, do you have malabsorption, which is a lymphatic problem, and what would be the third thing you have to consider in health? The utilization of nutrition, not what the plants have in them. We need very little nutrition. We're not one of those that needs mega nutrition. If you look at all the other animals, they're not either. It's all about, do you digest your foods properly? Do you absorb your foods properly? And the third, final, do you utilize? Now, what does utilization of nutrition mean? It means that you have to have a hormone or steroid present to have proper utilization. So you can go and think about, I want foods like this and stuff, but you first have to get the patient healthy, because they have to be able to digest, absorb, and utilize. And then where everybody's falling down is the elimination of the wastes of that chemical metabolism, that chemical respiration, that chemical processes of activity. Your food's high in calcium if you want. It's not about that. It's about the utilization of the calcium in your foods. You cannot not eat anything and not get calcium. Calcium is in white bread, for God's sakes. Calcium is the most abundant metal on the planet, almost. It's the ability to utilize it. And of course, that's a thyroid, parathyroid issue. It's, you know, and it's are you losing calcium to acid issue? And so you fix all those things. You get your lymph moving, just like we've been talking about in these videos, and you get your ingestion of goodies up there. You never see anybody suffer with skeletal, and I've seen skeletal regeneration on the high fruit kingdom, which has some of the lowest forms of calcium there. It is not the amount you get, it's the usability.